Dear students, I welcome you all to the class of English optional BA third year. We have been dealing with English critic William Wordsworth. In the last class yesterday, we dealt with Wordsworth's concept of poetic diction, in which we studied Wordsworth's theory of poetic language, limitations or contradictions in his theory of diction. Today, we are going to study Wordsworth's concept of poetry or his theory of poetry. William Wordsworth published preface to the lyrical ballads in 1800, in which he defined poetry. Poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. His definition of poetry shows contradiction. First half of his definition speaks about spontaneity, and the second half of his definition of poetry speaks about recollection in tranquility. William Wordsworth was a critic and poet of English, Latin, Greek, and he tried to explain the theory of poetry, its nature and function. Even he had talked of the qualifications of a true poet, poetic truth and poetic pleasure, and the distinction between a poet and a man of science. He had discussed these of his conceptions in his preface of the lyrical ballads in 1800. And in his supplementary essays. Wordsworth revolted against the conception of poetry in 18th century. He defined poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. He adds that poetry takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. Wordsworth valued more the powerful emotions and intense feelings in poetry writing. He points out that poetry takes birth from the internal feelings of the poet. It is a matter of feeling, mood, and temperament. The true poetry cannot be written without this proper mood and temperament. Nobody can ask a poet to write at his or her sweet will. Poetry, true poetry cannot be produced by order. It must follow out voluntarily and willingly from the soul of the poet. The word spontaneous in Wordsworth's definition does not mean immediate or sudden. It implies natural or unforced feeling of the poet. According to Wordsworth, poetry is born not in mind but in heart overflowing with feelings. Poets are men of greater sensibility. They have greater capacity to receive sense impressions than the common man. the beauties of nature which do not ex- excite common men. The poets express those with their powerful sensibility and give joys to others. For example, the beauty of a rainbow made Wordsworth's heart overjoyed and it leapt up. It is only Wordsworth who can see the beauty of daffodils and wrote an immortal poem on those flowers. In his supplementary essay, he has focused on the process of artistic creation or poetry writing. Wordsworth made it clear that good poetry is never an immediate or sudden expression of such spontaneous, powerful feelings. A good poet meditates and ponders over them long and deeply. So, Wordsworth added that poetry has its origin in emotions recollected in tranquility. There are at least four stages in the process of artistic creation, that is, poetry writing, observation or perception of some object, character or incident in the first stage. Such a thing sets up powerful emotions in the mind of the poet. Secondly, there is recollection or contemplation of that emotion in tranquility. In the second stage, memory plays very important part because there may be a long interval. The impressions received by the mind of the poet are filtered and selected. The poet's emotion is universalized. Thirdly, while writing, the emotions is received with the help of memory. At this time, the emotion is purged. That is, the process of filtering and selection is already completed. The fourth and last stage is the actual writing of a poem, that is, a stage of composition. In it, the poet communicates his experience to others with his special gift of better sensibility than the common people. He communicates his experiences in such a ways to give pleasure to others. Meter is justified in poetry because poetry or verse will be read often than the prose. Wordsworth's practice of his theory. All of Wordsworth's best poems like the Daffodils, Tintern Abbey, Pale Castle, Solitary Reaper are resulted from emotions recollected in tranquility. These poems are the emotions recollected in tranquility. Wordsworth followed his theory of poetry very closely while writing poems. He never wrote a song soon after the experience of the thing. He was gifted with powerful memory. The function of poetry is poetic pleasure and truth. Wordsworth thinks that pleasure is the chief end of poetry. Pleasure is the overall object of poetry. In it, he lays stress on moral gain. Next, poetry is the pursuit of truth of man's knowledge of himself and the world around him. At last, he says, poetry is a great force of good. His own object of writing poetry was to console the afflicted, to add sunshine to daylight by making the happy happier, to teach the young and the gracious of every age to see, to think, and feel. Therefore, to become more actively and securely virtuous. He concludes that every great poet is a teacher. So, he wished that he may be considered as a teacher only and nothing else. He speaks about the subject matter of poetry. According to Wordsworth, The incidents, situations, and characters taken from low and rustic life are the proper subject of poetry. He emphasizes on low and rustic life because in that condition men are free from all external influences. They speak from their own personal experience and their passions are less under restraint. He adds in it that a poet must throw over them a certain coloring of imagination whereby ordinary things should be presented to the mind in an unusual way. He speaks about the qualification of poet. According to Wordsworth, a poet is a man speaking to men. He is a person who writes not for his own pleasure. He writes to communicate his own thoughts and emotions to his readers to give them pleasure. He is a man of more lively sensibility than the common people. So he reacts more strongly to external impressions, and so his emotions and passions are more powerful. He is a man of greater imagination. He colors the common incidents with his imagination. He has greater knowledge of human nature, so he is able to read the passions of others. He is a man of a more comprehensive soul, so he can share the emotions of others and write on it. He is a man of greater zeal for life. He is a man of enthusiasm than other ordinary people. He is sincere and reflective by nature, so he can write good poetry. All these qualities make him a good poet. Dear students, today we have come across the nature or definition of poetry by William Wordsworth, the process of artistic creation or poetry writing, then Wordsworth's practice of his theory, then the function of poetry, poetic pleasure and truth, then the subject matter of poetry, and finally we have come across the qualification of poet. With this, I would like to remain here. Rest of the things we shall continue in the following class, that is on tomorrow. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much.